Good afternoon, everyone. I'm GCROCK, and today we are talking about The Division 2. We are coming up to the last quarter of the year now. We've got 3 months to go as of tomorrow, and we should be getting a huge Division 2 update at the end of the year. This was announced many months ago. We're going to go back to that announcement in today's video and read what they said, and we're going to be having a look at all communication since then to see if we can piece together exactly what sort of update is coming on The Division 2 towards the back end of this year. Now, we've already discussed this in streams. We've been discussing it a lot recently, which is why I thought I'd make a video of it. I'm going to give you my thoughts on exactly what I think is coming and what the Division 2 needs in this update come the end of the year. So if you enjoyed this video today, please do hit like and share to support the video. I'd really appreciate it. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. I cover a lot of the Division 2 content. I do streams as well. We're actually live tonight from 5 PM UK helping with raids on PC, so come and check out that stream. And before you leave the video today, we have a great community too. It is linked at the top of the video description, so make sure you come and check us out. So we start by going back all the way to February of this year. On February 12th, the Division game made a tweet, which we're going to have a look at in a minute. But at this time, I was really expecting something big to come. If we go back to the March prior to this in 2020, we had the Warlords of New York, and that was announced prior to that, and it was all exciting and it was great. So I was expecting something similar to that for March 2021 to kick off year 3. However, they released this tweet, and it really did make me disheartened. I was wrong. The Division had no plans, as this kind of like states. But it said a message from the Division team. I'm not going to read all of this, but basically they were saying that they see the ongoing conversation in the community, and they understand that we are eager for news of what lies ahead in the Division 2. As I said, we're expecting news at this point. And they said, today we are thrilled to confirm that there'll be additional content for the Division 2 released later this year. It is your continuous passion and support which enable us to continue to build upon the Division 2 experience, and we cannot thank you enough for that. So that's great, but later this year, I was expecting March. So, we are now at later this year. We're just hitting October now, and we still haven't received anything, but they've got plans. What I didn't like about it is that they also said some of you had noticed that Title Update 12 was originally meant to be the last major title update for the Division 2, but thanks to your continued support, we are now in the early stages of development for fresh content to release later in 2021. And that's pretty much all they had. So they did confirm that the Division 2 was only ever planned really to be a 2-year game by that statement, which I don't 100% believe. I think there's been a lot of changes behind the scenes, and COVID as well, that's kind of like adjusted how the Division 2 life cycle was. And for some reason, they made a U-turn to continue it, which is great news for us as a community and as an audience that love the game. Moving on, and the community wants more than just that announcement. They want to know what update is coming, what content are we getting. There's a lot of talk about this, and we don't really get any sort of answer to that, and we still don't to this day. But we did have a reply from Yannick in this conversation here back in March, and nearly a month after the original announcement about new content is coming, and he's just discussing how it's the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of things that they want to do, but it's far too early to say if they'll make it or not. We love this game just as much as everybody in the community, and we want to do it justice with a good update that should be full of surprises. So it tells me there's a lot planned. They do want to do a lot. And again, he says there, content is coming. We're still very early, so anything more at this point could end up changing down the line. We'll start shedding more light on what's to come as soon as things get confirmed and locked. And just to hang in there. So this was back in March, as I said. And that's the first piece of communication we had since the major announcements in February. And really, we still have no idea what is to come. So fast forward 2 months to May 6th, and Ubisoft make a huge announcement. They announced something that nobody was expecting. We were waiting for just Division 2 news and things about that. And they announced that they're going to be expanding the Division into a Division universe. And they said there's going to be a standalone game, Heartland. We're going to have a mobile game. There's a novel being worked on. They gave more information about the movie. And they did touch on the Division 2 content as well in this article on their website, which we'll have a look at now. This is a huge article, so we're not going to read through it all now. We covered this back when they announced it in May. But what I do want to just discuss for this video is they do touch on the Division and what's coming for the Division 2. It says, as previously announced, brand new content will be coming to the Division 2 with development led by Ubisoft Massive and support from Ubisoft Bucharest. While it's still too early to discuss any specific details, which is a very common theme throughout this phase, they say this update will include an entirely new game mode for the Division franchise and new methods for leveling your agents with an emphasis on increasing build variety and viability. We look forward to revealing more later this year ahead of this content's late 2021 release. So that's why this video is titled like it is today, like big news inbound, because we are getting to that late 2021 release, and they say they're going to be revealing more later this year before that. So we are due a big announcement very, very soon. I've been saying it in streams for weeks now. I think it was only last week or the week before I said expect it in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and I stand by that. I think in the next 6 weeks, we're going to have a huge announcement for the Division 2. And in this article, what they did reveal, which they didn't reveal prior, is that there's going to be a brand new game mode for the Division 2 that the franchise has never seen. So we know 100% there's a brand new game mode coming. It's going to be completely new to the franchise. And not only that, they are looking at different ways of leveling your agents with an emphasis on increasing build variety and viability. So that, to me, whether that says they're going to be going to level 50 or not, I'm not so sure. I do believe there was some communication saying they wasn't going to do that, but they are looking at different ways that we can progress our agents. So it's going to have some form of progression when it does come out, and with build variety and viability, that tells me there's going to be new builds, new options, new things to go and grind for. That announcement got me extremely excited. There's so much coming to the Division universe that I'm in love with. We got the Division 2 update. We're going to have new game to play, which I'm not going to talk about in this video because they've not announced anything about it, but we've had all the leaks. And if you watch the leaks like I have, you know exactly what it is, and I'm very excited. Even looking forward to the mobile game as well. But we move on to June, and what they also give us this year is to give us this Hearts on Fire audio book. Obviously, this is completely off topic. It's nothing to do with the Division 2, but it is something to keep us going. If you guys haven't haven't listened to this yet, you should definitely go and listen to it. You can get a free trial on Audible. It's a great listen, and it's really good. It'll get you hyped for the movie, because if the movie's anything like this, it's going to be fantastic. And it's just something extra to keep us going while we're waiting for the new content. Also around this time, there was the Ubisoft Forward. This is an event where Ubisoft talk about upcoming games and whatnot, and people were really expecting to hear something at this event on the Division 2 or the other projects that they're working on. But they released this message on June 7th, and it says, "Agents, we won't be at Ubisoft Forward this year, but we invite you all to tune in alongside us to hear the exciting announcements across other Ubisoft titles." I'm not going to keep on reading it, but it discusses how the teams are hard at work on new content for the Division 2 and whatnot for the end of the year. So this was a shock, and this had a bad reaction. A lot of people were very unhappy because they really thought we were going to hear something more. Obviously, they've told us we've got a new game mode coming, we got a new game coming. There's so much coming, but no one really knows what this is at this point, especially for the Division 2, you know? What is it? And we're really hoping for something at Ubisoft Forward, and we didn't get it. There was questions asked, and Yannick, he's been great throughout all of this. He's been answering a lot of people. I'm only showing you like a small percentage of the tweets that he replies to, but Mr. Kamikaze Von Doom questioned him, and again, it is response is very similar to his other responses, really, because I'm sure he can't say much, but he says, he's sure what Kamikaze is asking is, are we going to get like state of the games back and more community engagement like we used to have? And he said, I surely hope so, and it's still too early to share any details of what we're working on, but that doesn't mean there shouldn't be any interactions at all with the community, and we're still looking for a community developer to take on that mantle. So still no more news on the Division 2 at this point in June. Things start to go really quiet from this point. Yannick is obviously still saying the same thing about, we can't discuss much, just be patient. There's not much they can say. But there was this on August the 30th, where there's a lot of videos being made on YouTube about it. I didn't cover it because I took it with a pinch of salt. But Yannick said this in a reply to Rogue Gaming UK. With the next major update, there are changes we're making for the entire game that will have a direct impact on PvP. We don't have anything else planned until then except fixing some annoying bugs. Looking at you, Shrapnel Trap. So he confirmed that the Shrapnel Trap bug was getting fixed, which they've now done. But he said there's huge changes coming to the game that's going to affect even PvP. And this kind of had like a whirlwind effect. A lot of videos went out about what could be coming or whatnot. For me, it doesn't confirm anything more to what they've already said. They want to bring a lot into this game. They're looking at different progression systems, entirely new game mode. There's going to be some big changes if they can fit it all in. And then in September, people were making videos again because of this tweet. Basically, there was an update on the game and they put like the season end date well into the future. And Yannick replied by saying, we put the end date of the season on an abstract date to avoid spoiling the targeted release date of new content. Don't read too much into it. And what this made, what happened from this is that people were saying that we're not going to get content now till 2022. I ignored all that. There's no reason, as you can see, going through this video, going through all the communication we've had so far, that this content's being delayed at all. I'd still fully expect content to be released in 2021 at the end of this year, because that's what the communication has said, and they've said no different since. Apart from, like I said, that abstract date that they put in there, just to avoid spoiling the targeted release date. But just discussing that, like if you do look at how they've done the seasons, because they did a rerun of seasons on the Division 2 for people, the current season is the final season of year 2, and it ends at the start of December. For me, that's a very key indicator that at the start of December we should really be expecting new content, because after that I believe that's when the new content's going to hit. And that is the end of all communication from the Division game and Yannick in regards to Division 2 or the Division universe. So everything we've just gone through is everything that we 100% know and is fact. On screen now, this guy, I think if I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry, but Pally, he's a great guy. He's always tweeting. I tried to find the tweets, but he tweets out often. It takes me all day to find them. He's another great source of information. He's a producer for Massive, and there's some tweets that have also been good to read in regards to updates for the Division 2 from him. We've had a lot of staff changes at Massive. He's also he's discussed that. He's discussed how that's affected and how, it's everything's still moving forward, because there was concern about all the staff changes at one point. And also he discussed what's kind of being worked on in one tweet in the next game, because he mentioned that one of the job posts, because there's been some job listings, was for like a designer, and he said I think it was either a graphics designer, maybe. I'm not too sure. But there's a position in which he said would have been for manhunts. So he kind of confirmed that manhunts were going to be returning in the next edition of the Division 2 in the next update. So there's a lot of conversation about that as well. And I can't find a tweet, but if you go and have a look at Pally on Twitter and have a look through his tweets, he really does give some great communication about the game, and it's worth reading for sure. But that is everything. We've gone through all the communication that the Division and Yannick have given us since they announced more content was going to be coming to Division 2. And as you can see, there's pretty much nothing. It's always too early to tell us what it's going to be. But it's very clear they're working on something big. And they did confirm there's going to be a brand new game mode. So here's what I think. We've been discussing this in streams, but this is what I think is going to be coming to the Division 2. I think there's going to be a similar update to Warlords of New York. I think they're aiming for that sort of success. It's the busiest the Division 2 has ever been. I think it's actually the busiest the franchise has ever been. I think Yannick mentioned that, or someone mentioned that at some point. It was really good for the franchise, and I think they're looking for another update similar to that. I'm hoping like a new map, a new campaign. There's going to be new missions. I'm hoping for a new raid as well. Like, they've not mentioned this, but I think they plan to have 4 raids in this game. You can tell by the trophy cabinet. There's 4 spaces for raid trophies. There's been discussion in like data leaks, data mine leaks, that there was 4 raids coded in, or planned rather. So we've had 2. I really do hope there's going to be a 3rd raid in this next update. We know it's going to be a new game mode, and I hope the new map and new campaign, and it's going to be a different way to progress, and maybe they link that in with a new game mode. I'm not so sure. There could be a level 50. We're not so sure, because we just have no details whatsoever, but I would expect big. There's lots of people not expecting big. They don't want to be disappointed, but this is why they're not releasing no details. Yannick clearly said that they don't want to give us details and give us ideas of what they're working on if they can't then fulfill them. So hopefully, I do think there's going to be an announcement very, very soon. There's going to be a big announcement of exactly what we're going to be getting. We're going to get Division 2 content at the end of this year. There's no reason why, well, at the minute, there's no reason why we wouldn't do. They've not said this being delayed or anything. They're still hard at work at it. So by the end of 2021, we're going to have new content, which means in the next 6 weeks, we're definitely going to have an announcement about that content. That's for sure. And one more thing, what I feel that really the most important thing that needs to come out of this content for the Division 2 is that this new game mode has to be something for me that is like addictive and makes you want to play the game. Because once we were discussing this in stream the other day, and once you've done everything on the Division 2, it feels like there's nothing left to do. Now, I know I still have a ton of fun on the game. We help with raids all the time. If it wasn't for my community, though, and what we do in my community, I'm not so sure I'd still be playing the Division 2. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't. There's just nothing to do. I thoroughly enjoy playing this still, don't get me wrong, but if it wasn't for what I do and what we do for the community, would I still be playing the Division 2? No, I wouldn't. And I need to fix that. Division 1, I never had that problem. Once I finished the Division 1 and did everything there was to do, they had survival, they had last stand, they had some decent PvP modes. Underground was even quite fun, you know. They had modes that extended the life and the way the commendations worked or whatnot that made me want to keep on grinding. And especially survival was the best thing I have ever played on the Division. I think it's the best thing about the Division franchise. I really loved survival, and Division 2 don't have that. So with this new game mode, they need to fix that. I'm hoping this new game mode will be that, though. So when we have finished the game, there's a mode that keeps us just wanting to play, and that's what the game needs. It's, in my opinion, that's what the game needs. I know we've got Heartland coming as well. That'll probably be 2022. We've got a mobile game coming as well, which is all very excited. And in all honesty, I'm very excited for the future of the Division 2, and I think everybody should be. But that's the end of this video. I just wanted to go over today all the communication that we've had and sort of analyze that, and yeah, just give you my opinion again on what I think's coming. And the news is coming soon, guys. Honestly, expect it very, very soon. I'm very excited for that announcement, and when we do have an announcement, you can be sure we'll be covering it on the channel right away. But that's the end of this video. Now, if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to like and share it. Hit subscribe for more content if you're new. And now the video is done, come and check us out in our community. The link is down below at the top of the video description. Thank you for watching today. I'll be live at 5 p.m. doing some PC raids. We'll see you then. I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and peace out.